Okay, back again for another week. I posted, well, it would have been today actually. I would have posted a post about kind of like crises and how they can be used, or like how we can use them as actually, you know, periods of opportunity. And although other people, might be falling into disarray, doesn't mean that we have to, and that we can actually potentially find good things. It is kind of that like seeing good in the bad, but also not just being able to like mentally or rationally think, oh well, there's good in the bad, but also being able to act upon it to create good outcomes for ourselves within times of genuine turmoil for the society, or just the human race at large. But I thought it would be good to follow that up with a video about getting in touch with the source, and setting yourself in like a good mindset, and being able to do that pretty quickly at a time when you don't have the time to, like, you don't have the free time or the distance to do something like meditation or some of the other techniques we've talked about. So what I thought was a good idea was to use a thing, or like a technique that Eckhart Tolle kind of like was talking about in one of his books. I can't remember if it was The Power Now or one of the other ones, but it was essentially having at least, he recommended getting at least 3 of these, but like having 3 kind of thoughts you can entertain really quickly that will kind of help clear your mind, but also get you back into that kind of equilibrium or sense of state that will allow you to, like I said, make the most of these crises and be able to turn them into opportunities. So the ones he used, or one of the ones he uses, was him and his partner or whatever at the time, went on some holiday, and there was some walk that they would go on, and there was like this beautiful grass like hill with, and there was like a butterfly or something along those lines, and it was just this perfect encapsulated moment. And so later on, if he ever had times where he was stressed out or there was a lot going on in his life, that was a thought he would come back to, and he would just think about that thought for about a minute, and like try his best to essentially fully experience what he felt at the time, at that moment. So I think that is something we all can do. Looking through our lives, we can all kind of think of moments where we've had some sort of sense of bliss and very good memories, and we felt incredible. And I think it's good to document those moments and to have them on hand. So when we come to a time when we're not in a good state and we're either stressed or in a bad mood or something like that, we can essentially catch ourselves and notice that we're in those bad states, and then use one of those 3 thoughts or one of those 3 blissful moments in our lives to then essentially allow us to try and reset where our mindset is at, so that, well, I guess in the sense so that you can reset and get back to what you should rather be feeling and doing, because no one likes to feel bad or likes to feel stressed. I don't think anyone enjoys those feelings, but it's just we feel like due to circumstances in our lives we have to go through them, but you're never going to do as well. Like, being in those mindsets and those frames of reference will never be, you'll never do your best work, or you'll never be able to do achieve your best in those conditions. So I think that's where it's about getting back to those like blissful states, getting back to the source of like what's great in life, and what's so great in your own life and what you've been through, and finding those moments to then relive them again in times of in tough times, so that you can kind of go about and live your best life. Look, I know this one's a bit of a short one. I thought I'd do a technique because it's pretty short and quick, and I thought it tied in pretty well with the post I posted recently. So yeah, I guess these 2 are kind of like back-to-back pieces to kind of think about in conjunction with one another. But yeah, besides that, that's it for this week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.